Hey, what's going on, guys? Aarava here, and welcome back to my F1 2017 career mode, episode number 120 today for Season 6's finale at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The finale is here, and it's time for us to try and see if we can try and win our 4th World Championship. Not only outright, but also in a row. We've won the first championship, obviously, in Season 3 with Renault, then in Season 4 with Red Bull, Season 5 with Sahara Force India, and now we're gunning for our 4th World Championship to join the likes of Fangio and Vettel with 4 World Championships in a row here with Mercedes-AMG. Obviously, we're in the driving seat. We're ahead in the Drivers' Championship. Constructors-wise, unfortunately, we as a team, myself and Hamilton, have slipped away somewhat. You can see Red Bull currently only 6 points ahead of Renault. So Renault and Red Bull, the two teams going head-to-head, obviously both with Renault power units, so ready to battle the chassis almost. But you can see in the Drivers' World Championship, we've got a decent cushion of 9 points to Daniel Ricciardo, and then 1 point back is Nico Hülkenberg in 3rd place there. So, so certainly in the driving seat, but there are also plenty of scenarios where Ricciardo and Hülkenberg could definitely take this title. And if we look at the couple of last episodes, how Hülkenberg especially has performed in that Renault, which has seen a big surge of performance in the last couple of 5 rounds, then that definitely is a scenario that is possible. So we have to watch out for that, and we have to really make sure we try and control this race and try and control the entire weekend as best we can. Of course, that starts off with just trying to do the best job we can in practice, trying to home in the car, and then as we head towards qualifying, just trying to do the best job we can there. Ahead of qualifying, though, obviously, if you did miss the last episode, be sure to go check that one out before you see this one at 119. We took an engine penalty, the internal combustion engine. We took a 5th column of that. We were on 4, but the 4th one was getting quite worn, so I elected to take a free 5th engine, of course, because we qualified quite poorly at Brazil, and so it was kind of worthwhile to basically take a free engine penalty almost. And so now we have a near enough fresh engine, only a couple of percent in there in terms of the wear rate. So we've got the best possible chance. We're giving ourselves the best possible chance to win this Drivers' World Championship here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Speaking of qualifying then, here we go into Q1 then at the very end of our lap. Of course, Q1 all but a formality at this stage with our 6th season into F1 2017 career mode. So across the line we go. It's going to be P5 for now. Of course, that's going to go a little bit down the order as we end the session. Generally, Q1, I'm not trying that hard. The AI also don't turn up the wick, really. You can see Hamilton's up in P2. I doubt that'll be the case when we come to Q3. Although our car has obviously improved, I think we'll probably be more towards the middle end of the spectrum in the top 10. At least that's what I'm hoping minimum to be at. Otherwise, I might be pulling my collar a little bit at the start of this race if we're a little bit further back than, let's say, P6 and Hülkenberg and Ricciardo go and do the job and get near the front here. So in Q2 then across the line, and at the moment in P8, and that will be enough to get into the top 10. It will finish up in P8, although Hamilton does stay in P2, so that actually gave me some hope, because Q2 obviously you start to turn up the wick, so Hamilton still being there was good to see. But Hülkenberg both times topped the session, so Nico obviously, as I mentioned, in that really good Renault now, that's been great for the last few episodes. Barring last episode was a bit of a kind of blip in the Renault form, really, with a 1-2 for Force India in that race, and both Renaults qualified quite poorly and finished quite low. Hülkenberg looking very strong this weekend, so we might have to bring out the magic here in Q3 if we're going to try and match Hülkenberg. So we set 1 lap time, wasn't good enough really to beat anything. We're in P10, although it was a lot faster than our Q2 lap time. Everyone is really turning up the wick, and so we have done so as well. And so far, so good. On the top right, you can see on the green delta time, but at the moment, it's Daniel Ricciardo on provisional pole position then, and I think Hülkenberg's also somewhere near the top flight, so we have to make this a good lap through the final corner. Missed the apex somewhat there, so going to lose some time, but across the line it's going to be, and what is it going to be? You have to wait for the animation on the bottom left. It's going to be P4 on the grid. I'm very happy with that, and actually, look at that, my 2 main rivals are on the front row of the grid. Ricciardo on pole position, Nico Hülkenberg in 2nd, and I'm directly behind both of them there in 4th place, alongside Sergio Perez. So literally the top 4 are all guys who have been teammates of mine, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, and Perez. In all 3 of the seasons I've won a World Championship, so it's almost quite fitting in a way that top 4 is that top 4 of those 3 drivers, and it's kind of, it's almost in nearly the same order. If Hülkenberg was the one on pole and Ricciardo was in 2nd, then it would have gone in upwards order then from P4 up to pole then in terms of how I won the championships, with Force India, Red Bull, and then Renault firstly in Season 3. But yeah, it's actually really nice to have the 3 championship rivals up there in the top 4. Of course, it would have been better if, for me personally to be ahead of both those 2, but still just nice in general that none of us got hampered with an engine penalty or held up in Q3 or even knocked out, God forbid, in Q2 or Q1. So let's go to the full grid then, and then we'll go to the finale of Season 6 here.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. It was a good showing from Red Bull in qualifying, and Daniel Ricciardo starts from pole position. And starting alongside is Nico Hülkenberg. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez and a Mercedes, Jolyon Palmer and Vettel, Hamilton, Verstappen, Raikkonen and Roman Grosjean, Massa, Sainz, Daniel Kvyat and Alonso, Magnussen, Van Dorn, Lance Stroll and Esteban Ocon, Wehrlein and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Here we go then to our 6th Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in the F1 2017 career mode, and the 4th time we could potentially win the World Drivers' Championship after this race is over. Looking at the race strategy then, we've got either a 1-stop or a 2-stop. I really don't think we're going to be doing that 1-stop. That's ultra soft tyres to soft tyres. That's quite an ask and a long way to go on those yellow wall tyres. So I think we're going to safely go for the 2-stop, which is only, you can see on the delta time there, just about a second slower there. So I think that'll be the best course for us in terms of the Mercedes car. Although we've done upgrades on it, the tyre wear still isn't amazing, so that'll be the better option, more aggression, and I think a lot of people will be going with that way as well. So let's get into this then as we go to 5 red lights for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix Season 6 finale. Can we be crowned a 4-time world champion after this race is over? 5 red lights are out and we're underway. It is a great start there for Sergio Perez, not so much for myself, and also a great one for pole man Daniel Ricciardo. Hülkenberg in 2nd place, down to 3rd now as we drone to turn 1, tried to maybe look into making a move, wasn't possible anywhere, there was no space to go, and so we just have to wait there in P4, but Perez with a great one, and he's up into P2 already and pressurizing Daniel Ricciardo behind me. Then you can see, I think Sebastian Vettel has got ahead of Jolyon Palmer, and my team at Hamilton closely follows behind Jolyon, and so as we go through the hairpin then trying to get the best exit, and we'll just see what we can do. But at the moment it's Daniel Ricciardo from Perez to Hülkenberg to myself. So the scenario obviously is Ricciardo's got 9 points to me behind, and Hülkenberg's got 10. So at the moment Ricciardo in 1st place, 25 points. I would be getting 12 points here, so Ricciardo would be getting enough points to win the World Championship. So we do have to make an overtake here, and it's going to be on our other rival, Nico Hülkenberg, at the moment, who had a really slow start there, and he even was slow on now into the chicane as he's locked up there, and so we can maybe try and make a move around the outside, effectively a little bit of a switchback on the racing line. We waited for him to kind of turn into the corner so we could get a better exit, straighten out the car faster on the exit of that previous corner off the chicane, and you can see it worked out for us with Rich Mix. No DRS here in lap 2, of course, and we've made that overtake already, so up into P3. So already dispatched one of our championship rivals, and now can we try and find the other one? Although Ricciardo looks to be in a very commanding lead at the moment, and actually both him and Perez are getting away somewhat in only 1 lap or so. They've already made a decent gap to actually myself compared to the other cars behind me, so a little bit worried about that. We'll have to monitor that situation, but up into 3rd, so we'll get 15 points there, so it'll be on the dot. That will just about lose the championship if we were to stay in this position. But whoa, we've got yellow flags, and Nico Hülkenberg is out of this Grand Prix early on lap 3. Nico completely out of the running now, and he can't possibly win the World Championship now. That is absolutely gutting for the German. He's had no luck in real-life Formula 1 with a podium thus far, and here now in the career mode, he's won races, but he just can't pull the luck through, and I know plenty of you guys in the comments below are maybe rooting for him to try and win this championship, but he is out of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix with 3 laps gone, so he's moved on to lap 4. He's out of the running. It's just 2 men now left to try and win the championship, Ricciardo and myself. He's at the moment in the lead of this Grand Prix, so with 25 points to 15, he would win this by 1 point. He would get 10 points over me, and obviously he only had 9 to me in the standing. So as it is, he is good, but obviously we're trying to close in. But one man who's doing even better, and one more, is Sergio Perez. This man we're focusing on right now in the replay camera, and he's going for a move now on the Australian, and the Mexican goes up into 1st place, and so Sergio Perez takes the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and effectively shuffles down Ricciardo now. If there were live standings on screen, you would see Ricciardo move back down to 2nd, because now he's only get 18 points. I'm going to get 15. That's a difference of 3 there, and so we're good again. If the race was to end like this, I would be good, but obviously there's plenty of laps to go, plenty of strategy to go. I still don't know. I hope these guys are doing a 2-stop, but if they're doing a 1-stop like the default strategy was, I don't know. We may be in a bit of a pickle, because you can see on that angle there, clearly there's a huge gap from Ricciardo to myself. As we move on to lap 7, we come in now for that first of 2 pit stops this afternoon onto super soft tyres, but you can see on the mini-map, Ricciardo really quite some way away, almost a pit stop, nearly, maybe, perhaps. If he continues on like this on his stint, then he definitely could do that, and so even with a more aggressive strategy, we could still find ourselves behind Ricciardo, so we have to be careful that the two-stop isn't going to hinder us so much. Like, you know, if we get hit by traffic or if I just don't go fast enough on these two sets of super soft tyres, we could find ourselves too far back in a position where I'm not getting enough points to counteract the points that Ricciardo is getting in this for the championship. So we come out now towards pit lap 8 and we're in P12 at the moment, but of course we all go up the order as people eventually make their pit stops. But for now, we're going to be chasing down the young Canadian Lance Stroll in the Williams car. And as we move on later into that lap 8 into sector 3, we've caught up the Williams car down the main straight with some rich mixes helpful. Now we're in stand and we're trying to navigate the curbs as best we can, wrestling the car through, and obviously the car is already upset in terms of balance this entire season, and Abu Dhabi definitely is very tricky in sector 3, but as long as we can navigate that, we have some decent pace in the first 2 sectors for sure. But you can see right up the gearbox then, and we sent it down the inside there. I can see the space, and at this point in time I'm just getting held up by Lance, so I needed to make that move swiftly and calculatedly, and so we're down the inside and we're up into P11 as my teammate is in on this lap. So crucial we made that pit stop there, and altered that move then, really, because I felt like we would have lost definitely way more time if we stayed out any longer when we came in. And now as we cross the line, we are going to be ahead at the moment of Hamilton and Jolyon Palmer, so good we haven't lost any time, and in fact I think we've almost gained some time there on Hamilton, so good stuff then. Hamilton also on Supersoft, so that's kind of bodes well for me, at least in terms of kind of mentally, just at least my teammates also doing the 2-stop with me. So you know, in Brazil I tried a different strategy to Hamilton, whereas now we're on the same strategy, so at least that's a peace of mind that, you know, his side of the garage also thinks that's what the Mercedes car can handle in this race. Meanwhile though, up ahead, joining me in this traffic actually is Daniel Ricciardo here in P5. Both of us have to navigate some cars up ahead who are going a little bit longer, who started on super softs or soft tyres at the beginning of this Grand Prix. You've got Danica Fiat, Carlos Sainz, both Toro Rosso cars on super softs, I think that is, and they're still going on this race. Obviously lap 11 easily still going on super softs, and so me and Ricciardo stuck in this traffic. We can see I'm getting right up his gearboxes. He's on soft tyres, so Ricciardo is doing indeed the 1-stop. We're going to go for a move now down the inside, dive it through the last corner there, give him some room there on the exit, little twitch to try and control the oversteer. But here we go, side by side down towards turn 1. He's on the inside though, and he's going to have the better line. We have to cut back in and try and just get some slipstream if we can, but very hard to make a move around the outside there. You know, even by yourself that corner is difficult enough. It's kind of almost off camber, but the way the curbing is, it just wants to chuck you off, so it's difficult enough trying to navigate it by yourself, let alone trying to go around the outside of a driver there. And so we're still getting hampered by Ricciardo here. You can see I'm kind of going left, right. You can maybe see the desperation of me wanting to get past Ricciardo, but we're going to have to maybe be a little bit patient because we've got traffic ahead of us, and Ricciardo is also going to be fast enough to navigate that traffic along with Jolyon Palmer right behind me, so I need to be wary that I don't let him get past me. But you can see Ricciardo down the inside then of the Russian. We try and go the other side of Kvyat, doesn't work out. We have to come back into the apex. Kvyat's hit the curbing there, and so that will allow us to overtake him very easily as he's off put on the exit of that corner. And so Ricciardo up into P4, I'm up into P5, and Palmer's also going to overtake the Russian there in the background. And so it looks like all of us are navigating this traffic together. But just going back to that, you know, Ricciardo is on a 1-stop now. I'm on a 2-stop, so I have to get past the Australian and try and get a 1 pit stop gap, otherwise I won't finish ahead of him. And so here we go, we've dived it to the inside again, and so hopefully you'd like to think we have the horsepower to get past Ricciardo in the background. Palmer and Hamilton not too far behind, so hopefully as I overtake Ricciardo now with DRS open, these guys behind me try and overtake him as well and try and get a few gaps between us, because I need to extend the gap now to Ricciardo, let alone just overtake him. But still, the overtaking is a matter to be finished with, because we just about get that, but we make some contact with Carlos Sainz, so we just nip through on the switchback line there. Merely, I think my nose literally grazes gearbox as we pull through on the right hand side, but now we go to the left and Sainz going to squeeze me towards the wall actually, and some more contacts made. And so my first ever teammate in Formula 1 in this career mode nearly squeezing me to the wall. There was some for sure a bit of rubbing there between our side pods, and we just about get up into P2. Thankfully Sainz does stay ahead in P3 then, and so hopefully he hits Ricciardo with some dirty air, and Palmer and Hamilton get a move on and they can try and overtake him. And so he moved through the laps then, and here is Jolyon Palmer now sizing up a move on Ricciardo. So is this the start then? I hope it is, and I'm praying this is the start. You've got the Renault, Mercedes and Ferrari behind Ricciardo. Hopefully all these guys on super soft tyres can overtake Ricciardo, and hopefully this is a sign of things to come in the coming laps of Ricciardo just falling away as his tyres start to degrade, and obviously they just can't perform as well as super soft. And actually he's been pushed away by Palmer. Carbon fibre flailing for Hamilton, I think that was. Vettel is also past Ricciardo, so Ricciardo down 2 positions now. Could it be 3 as Hamilton goes for the move with DRS wide open down the inside? Come on Hamilton, as he goes down, and Ricciardo's made some contact. The Handemanker goes up, and Ricciardo the long way round. Doesn't look like he can do it though, and so my teammate is going to make that overtake, I think, and he will be ahead of the Aussie man, and so he's down 3 positions, and 3 positions back from me. 4 positions actually if you include Sainz as well. Obviously those Sainz are out of sync in this Grand Prix, but we come in now on lap 17 for our second and final pit stop now. The others have already made a pit stop. Actually, Palmer and Hamilton came in a lap earlier than I did, and so now we just see how the race is going to pan out. We're going to come out, probably near Palmer, near Hamilton probably, and the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. Ricciardo and Perez continue on. They both went on soft tyres, so they're doing the one stop, and it's a case of, as our teammate would maybe say, a bit of hammer time, and try and see what we can do on this fresh set of tyres, and hopefully get into a position where we're not losing enough points to lose this championship. Or the better way would be just going up and overtaking Ricciardo once again in this race, but I feel like the gap was a bit too large for us. But this position is nothing new to us. We've been here 3 times before at Abu Dhabi, and we've had to play it cool, calculated before to try and win the World Championship, so things don't change there. 10 laps to go in Abu Dhabi. We'll just see what we can do. We'll try and go fast as we can, and if the time comes when we need to worry maybe where our position is, then I'll worry when we get to that bridge and try and cross it. So at the moment, Sergio Perez in the lead of this race. Daniel Ricciardo second place, Esteban Ocon in third, chased down by Jolyon Palmer then in fourth, and here we are in 5th place. So at the moment, as it stands, Perez in the lead and Ricciardo second. I would have to try and get at least 4th place to win the championship, but at the moment the man in P4, Palmer, is going to try and overtake the man in P3, Esteban Ocon, as they go down to the chicane, and he was on the outside line, so I'll turn to the inside for the next part. He's going to bunny hop though over the curbing, and so Ocon will come back at him now, and they'll go side by side on the exit, and Ocon will get back into P3, Palmer back down to P4. All the while though, that's fantastic for me because we're just there in the background, and then fighting like that, losing each other time is great for me, because you can see as we move on towards lap 22, we're going to come across the line to set the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Not only that, we are a lot visually closer to both of them, so we're closer to that crucial P4 that we need minimum to win this championship, as long as Ricciardo's in second, and it looks to be maybe that way because Perez at the moment is still in the lead, and he's looking pretty damn comfortable, I must say. So here we go though, as Palmer tries for the second time now on the next lap, lap 23. He's on the left hand side this time, and he's got completely past him now. The Renault waltzes past, and with that now we'll have a clear shot at P4. Ocon, like Perez and Ricciardo, on the soft tyres, and it looks like compared to his teammate and Ricciardo, he's struggling a bit more on those softs to make them last in this Grand Prix. With 5 laps to go now, here we are right up his gearbox into that chicane, into the hairpin. We're basically going to be pushing him into the chicane almost. We tap his gearbox there, as my car definitely had more grip on the rear traction there to get the car going down this straight. Rich mix available, DRS available, so here we go, just nice and calm, wait for it in the slipstream there, in a straight line, move to the right hand side, little shift on the steering wheel, and we're up into P4, nice and easy on the brakes, don't go too deep, miss the apex a tad, that's fine though, through the second part of the chicane, and we're in P4, and now we'll try and get away. We're still in rich mix to pull away from the Force India. Of course, that Force India still is pretty good in a straight line, so just want to make sure we can stay ahead of him. I should think as the laps go on though, his tyres will go off, but in this position right now, we're all good. We are good for the championship. Ricciardo in second, myself in fourth. We're good for it, and we're going to win in this position. But Daniel Ricciardo, oh my God. You cannot write this stuff. Daniel Ricciardo is the second man to retire out of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and that has effectively sealed the championship. Hulkenberg out on lap 3, Daniel Ricciardo out on lap 24. I was literally just saying we were fine. We could have relaxed anyway in the Grand Prix in P4 and just allowed Ricciardo to go around in P2. He wasn't anywhere near Perez to get P1, but he's just taken matters into his own hands and made things even easier for me. He's retired with the mechanical failure compared to Hulkenberg's engine failure with the smoke there on lap 3. And so on to lap 28. It's not all over there in terms of my racing, because Ocon actually comes back at us now. To be fair, I will admit I've relaxed quite a bit in these last few laps. I basically switched off my mind, as there was no point really pushing on to try and get second or first. We, easily going to get the podium here. Ocon did try something, but albeit for nothing, because we look behind us now on the second little straight with DRS even, he's unable to do anything. And so as we move on to the last few corners then, round the second last corner towards the last, going to come through for P3 in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and we're going to be taking our 4th World Drivers' Championship here in Abu Dhabi, and our 4th in a row as well, to join Sebastian Vettel and Fangio for the record holders for 4 in a row in Formula 1. Absolutely awesome. Season 3, 4, 5, and now 6. That is the championship, baby. World Drivers' Championship. doing a donut in style then, this time as well, not running out of fuel like we did back in the Red Bull days, where I ran out of fuel at Abu Dhabi, so my animation couldn't even do the donut there, but there we have it, the 4th World Championship. This one was a big old fight, really. I really didn't think this was maybe going to come through, because at the beginning of this season, this car was atrocious. You know, I was doing nothing but complaining, basically, in every video about how horrendous the car was, but you know, slowly, we kept our head in there. We've had a bit of luck with Ricciardo having a few issues here and there. Then we've had different peaks and troughs for different teams. You know, Force India now have ended on a high with 2 wins on the trot with Sergio Perez, and it was a 1-2 last time out for them in Brazil. We had, obviously, 3 wins in a row for Hulkenberg just before Perez's victory in Brazil, and then before that, Ricciardo and myself looked like the ones who were the only 2 fighting. So this season's been very topsy-turvy in terms of, I like the ebb and flow of different teams coming up and down. There's been different championship contenders potentially, but in the end, there can only be one victor, and it is ourselves for the Drivers' World Championship. And Renault, you know, fair play. They've won the Constructors. They're ahead of Red Bull Racing. We come home in 3rd. As I've said, though, before, I've said it many times, I've never really cared for the Team Championship. I could care really less. So, Renault, fair play to them. They've never won the Constructors in this career mode, because I never won it with them, even when I won the Championship myself in Season 3. So, fair play to them. They finally got that Constructors Championship. And to be fair, I think they probably earned it, because 3 wins on the trot there in the last couple of episodes. Those were really dominant victories. So, fair play to them with Red Bull in 2nd place. But now we come through to the end of the season, and this is where the joy of winning the World Championship wears off somewhat, because if you look close enough, eagle-eyed viewers may be able to notice already what maybe I'm about to look at and say. But you'll notice we are in the Mercedes paddock still in the background, in the blurred picture behind. I've never seen this screen before. Congratulations on winning the World Drivers' Championship. Usually, we're in a weird room in a corridor just in front of our PR agent's office, and that's where they usually give you a contract to look at for next season. But we've been given the message of end of the season. Thanks for all we've done, and look forward to seeing you next season by Mercedes. And we just go to here. We go to the laptop, and where is it? Where is the PR agent's corridor? Where is her room? Where is the animation where we get given the contract proposal? Where is my choice of either staying with Mercedes or get given 3 different other teams I can go with? Huh? Where is it? It's nowhere. That's why. It's nowhere. I can only go to next season, and I have to go to next season to Australia as a team member of Mercedes-AMG Petronas. I have won a 4th World Championship. There we go. That's confirmed. So nothing, you know, nothing went corrupt there. I've won my 4 titles there. Season 3, 4, 5, 6. I won the championship with Mercedes. We beat all our rivals there that season. Yeah, we're losing the rivalry by literally 1 to Ricciardo right now. The reputation level said we should have been getting offers from the likes of Sauber, Toro Rosso, and Williams, apparently, according to that little screen on the main menu. But it's not here. I'm actually speechless. I don't know what to say. I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't know it was possible for you not to get a contract offer from a team. I just won the championship with freaking Mercedes. You would think at least the bottom 3 teams would want to sign me. Yeah, okay, the reputation level for Ferrari, Red Bull, Renault, and Force India was pretty much nearly 0 on the menu. But you would have thought at least the bottom 3 teams, which the reputation was quite high, I would have been given a contract offer by them. But no, we're going straight to Australia here, and I'm still with the bloody Silver Arrows. I don't know. I'm actually completely flabbergasted that this is even a thing, that this can happen in career mode, that I don't get a contract from a new team. Because I didn't want to stay with Mercedes, because that's how I roll. I don't stick around in teams for very long in career mode, if you notice. Once I've won a championship, I generally move on, because in my opinion, there's nothing more to do, really. I've won the championship. As I said, I don't care for the team championship at all, as maybe some minority do in the comments, but I really don't give a toss about it. So I was ready to leave Mercedes, but here we are then. Australia, Season 7, and I'm still partnering Lewis Hamilton. So, yeah, it's mixed feelings right now in terms of I'm still happy we won the 4th championship, but I would have loved to have gone to a different team, but we're still here with Mercedes, and so, yeah, it's a little bit weird and odd, but I guess we'll see you guys next time for the next episode, and we plow on and, you know, try and hope we can get a mid-season contract change and try and jump ship from Mercedes as fast as we can, because I don't fancy doing a whole season again with Mercedes. But I will say this now, breaking the fourth wall a little bit, in terms of the way I want to run this career mode, guys, when I started this career mode in August, I was adamant I wanted to try and do all 10 seasons, and I was not going to alter and mess with the career mode. This is the vanilla career mode. If you don't know what that means I'm not using any mods apart from a helmet mod, which is a visual thing, but this is the vanilla career mode. You know, there's a good chunk of you guys that watch that are maybe more casual viewers of career mode or my channel specific, so you may not watch other series like My Drive and stuff like that. Maybe that's too complicated for you guys, and so I wanted to keep this series going as vanilla as it can be, as close as the base game as it is. And so at the 7th season, this is what's happening. You know, this is the raw representation of what is actually happening in my career mode save. I have not been offered a contract, and so we have to deal with it. We have to be in Mercedes now for at least half a season, and we just have to get on with it, because there's nothing I can do. You know, I'm not going to reset the career mode to season 1, because literally, like I said, I wanted to set out to try and do the entire 10 season. What is my actual journey? No messing around, no modding into it. What's the journey on this career mode game? 10 seasons into it. So this is what it is. It's all part of the parcel. So it's a little bit of a weird ending, but there you go. But guys, if you have enjoyed the episode nonetheless, be sure to smash that like button, especially for 4 World Championships in a row. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you are new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I've been aarava. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.